Give me some more, give me some more. Welcome back to Not Your Mom's Cooking Show. Today I will show you how to make pulled pork sandwiches. I'm gonna start by making the buns. From there we'll get the pork going, and then I'm gonna finish it up with the barbecue sauce. Are you ready? Let's get started. Now there's gonna be 3 parts to the buns. The first part is gonna be called the TANGZHONG. What you will need: a few tablespoons of bread flour, 1/4 cup of whole milk, 2 tablespoons of water. We're gonna put all the ingredients in this pot and we're gonna mix it all together. Start with the milk, then the water, then the flour. Mix it together until nice smooth consistency. There are no lumps. And we have our TANGZHONG. For the dough, we will need 3/4 cup of whole milk, lukewarm, 1 tablespoon of active dry yeast, 2½ tablespoons of sugar, 3 1/4 cups of bread flour, 1 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt, 1 large egg, 1 egg yolk, and 3 tablespoons of unsalted butter. To start, we're gonna mix the milk, the yeast, and the sugar in a small bowl and let that activate. And then we're gonna add our yeast and our sugar. So after it's all mixed together, you want to cover it with a towel and let it sit for about 5 to 10 minutes. I got a 10-minute timer going. And my salt. Our yeast is done rising. So here comes the yeast. I'm gonna add the TANGZHONG. Add the egg, yolk, and then the egg itself. Now we're gonna remove our paddle attachment. We're gonna add our dough hook. So now the dough is finished mixing. Place it into a greased bowl and let it sit for about an hour or 2. So what I'm gonna do to grease my bowl is I'm just gonna take a teaspoon of olive oil and place it in a bowl. Then I'm gonna take a napkin or a paper towel and I'm just gonna kind of coat it around the bowl. And there we go, grease bowl. Nice and simple, easy greasy. Let's reuse our yeast towel. Put it in a nice warm spot. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it over the oven. The heat from the oven will rise and it will heat up this mixture. It says to wait like 1 to 2 hours till it doubles in size, and then to cut it into shapes and ball it up and then bake. So I'm excited, we're getting closer. So now we're gonna move forward with the pork. What I have here is I have 2 types of pork. I have a pork shoulder. I have a pork roast that had just been sitting in my fridge for a while. I didn't really know what the difference was until I pulled them out and I realized that the pork roast still has a bone in it and the pork shoulder does not. So that's gonna change how it cooks. So what I've done now is I've put together a rub. I mixed together 1 tablespoon of kosher salt, 5 tablespoons of brown sugar, 1 teaspoon of Cayenne Pepper, 1 teaspoon of coriander, 1 teaspoon of ground cumin, 1 tablespoon of black pepper, 3 tablespoons of paprika, and 1 tablespoon of dry mustard. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna kind of mix all these ingredients together. I wanna make it a nice solid rub, make sure that each part gets a little bit of each ingredient. The brown sugar is gonna give it a little crust, caramelization. Everything else is just adding spice. When it's all said and done, because we're roasting it in the oven because I don't have a smoker, it's gonna create a really nice crust. I'm gonna take my rub spices and I'm just gonna kind of sprinkle it all over. And it's called a rub, but it should be called a pat because you just kind of want to pat it into the meat itself. You don't want to rub it because then it won't stay. The object is to make sure that it covers everything because it's going to create this crust and flavor. We're going to put this in a 325-degree oven for like 1 to 2 hours until the internal temperature reaches 165. So now it's time to finish it up with the barbecue sauce. This is a really simple recipe. I made it once before on our fry bread taco video. I made the barbecue sauce, but I didn't show how it was made. I'm gonna spice it up a little bit. You don't have to if you're gonna try this recipe, but I'm gonna do it because I just wanna try something different. Today's all about trying new things. So to start, we're gonna take 3 cups of ketchup. We're gonna go ahead and put it in our cooker. So now we're gonna add a 1/2 cup of apple cider vinegar. Makes for great taste. 1/3 a cup white sugar. I'm gonna follow that up with 1/3 a cup of brown sugar. 1½ teaspoons of coarse black pepper. 1½ teaspoons of ground mustard. And 1½ of onion powder. 1 6-ounce can of tomato paste. Now what I'm gonna do, take my whisk, just kind of start mixing it all together. 1 tablespoon of this Worcestershire sauce. Here comes the experimental part. I have some dehydrated ancho peppers and some dehydrated guajillo peppers and some habanero peppers. Now I'm gonna add another 1/2 cup of apple cider vinegar. Just kind of thin it out a little bit. It seems a little too thick, it's struggling. And now that I've done that, I'm gonna add these guajillo peppers in there as well. So these habaneros in there. Look at this dough. Look at that. Look at that. Big. Poke a hole in it, let it deflate. Divide dough into 8 pieces of about 95 grams each. I'm gonna put the buns in the oven. They've been sitting for a while. They're really puffy. They're actually kind of gorgeous. I want to kind of smash it down a little bit. Put 3 tablespoons of water and an egg. This is going to be the egg wash that goes on top. So now it's time for my favorite part, and that's called Let's Tear This Puppy Up. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna slice it up a little bit, let it cool down, kind of pull, oh yeah, there we go. Pulling out a pot. Realize what I should have done. Next time I'm gonna get like a crock pot or something and then make the barbecue sauce and then cook it in the barbecue sauce. Because when the buns are done, I'm gonna put this in the oven for about 15-20 minutes and just let the sauce cook into the pork, and we'll call it a day. We're done. Yay, these buns came out looking fantastic. So next time, what I'm gonna do is maybe get like a crock pot, a slow cooker, or even like a Dutch oven to cook it in, so that way it cooks with the barbecue sauce, so that way it gets all ingrained in the meat itself. Like I said, this was my first real attempt to make a pulled pork. I made one for the fry bread taco a few videos back, but you know, really wanted to try the sandwich. I'm really happy with the way the bread came out. The sauce is really spicy. Look at that. Now it's time to taste it. One thing I also should have done is I probably should have toasted the bun before I put the sandwich together, but hey, you live, you learn. So here we go. The bread is really soft. I was afraid the bread might be dense, but no, it's not. It's really light, it's really airy. The pork is really tender. In one bite, you get it all. Not bad for a first try. This bun is really good though. I think it would be really good if you had it like on a sloppy joe. That would be delicious. If you haven't already, click subscribe. Click that bell if you want to know when we have more videos coming out. Give us a thumbs up if you like the video. If you have a friend that might enjoy this video, share it. Let them know that this is what we do. You know, we're learning every single time we make videos. And I think that's the joy of it all, is experiencing new foods that, well, me anyway, I've never cooked before, trying it out, seeing how it comes out, and just having fun. Keep staring at the camera like it's recording and then it's not. Anyways, thanks for watching. See you on the next episode of Not Your Mama's Cooking Show. I'm going to chow down now.